Okay, so we are doing it again. This is just what happens when the Royal Rumble rolls around. I get excited. So of course, make sure you get in those comments right away and tell me what yours are. But here's 10 crazy surprises that may or may not happen for the WWE Royal Rumble. Number 10, Steve Austin confronts CM Punk. So this is not gonna happen, it's just not. And even if that crazy rumor from a few months ago that WWE was thinking about doing Steve Austin versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 40 did come true, you would not need to do anything at this pay-per-view premium live event. I mean, just having those two cats together is quite literally enough. I don't want to deal in those terms though, because it's boring and I'd rather be a massive wrestling nerd. So picture this scene. CM Punk is in the ring, maybe he entered at number 1, and he has thrown everybody out. So right in this second, he stands alone, much like one Stone Cold Steve Austin from 1998. And then, I don't know, at number 18, you have the glass shatter, and here comes the rattlesnake, and I tell you, every single person in that building would become totally unglued. Me included. He can throw CM over the top as well, and I don't even care. They can just fight off into the crowd, and we never even see Steve again. And even though that would technically mean he wins the Royal Rumble, although he doesn't, because again, he never comes back, I don't care. Sometimes I just want what I want, and this is what I want. You would then absolutely count the days till April, but again, this is absolute nonsense, and it's never gonna go down, but I dare to dream. Although we're still going to get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, it's totally fine by me. Number 9, The Rock turns up too. And amazingly, after the other day, maybe this one actually has some credence. Because there's no two ways about it. At some point in 2024, we are now going to do The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Now, it sounds like it could be at the Elimination Chamber in Australia, and of course it could be at WrestleMania 40, but if you want to get the most out of Dwayne Johnson, hell, put him on the Royal Rumble. Now personally, I don't think you do need to do this because it's way too overkill. But if the Great One did come out at number 30 and he won the Royal Rumble and then he challenged Roman once again, there'll be some geeks out there, and I totally get it, who'd be like, man, this is not fair to Cody. And it's not at all. But there would be a lot of other individuals who would be sat there wide-eyed thinking, how the hell did this happen? And what is going to happen next? It also means you get around about 2 months worth of mainstream headlines, which WWE loves more than anything. But actually, now that he did turn up on Raw, I imagine we will save Rock for either the Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania 40. And at the moment, shrug emoji. Everyone likes to pretend they know, but only at least one person does, and his name is The Rock. Number 8, the return of Sasha Banks. Now this one could be totally out of date by the time you see it, because every single day we get a brand new report. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, is going to AEW, then she's going to WWE. But given everything that did happen with CM Punk, until I see something with my own eyes, I'm throwing it into lists like this. So if I am out of date, well, just leave a comment saying, Simon, you're a bald a-hole. It's true. I have talked about this on other videos though, and the main reason I'd love it if Mercedes Moné did return to WWE is because she could win the Royal Rumble, and then she can go to SmackDown and challenge Io Sky for that Women's Championship over there. And it also means she can reunite with Bayley, who of course is going to fall out with Damage Control. When you have a story that makes that much sense, well, my tum-tum wants it. I do want to point out though, if she does actually arrive at AEW, that is awesome as well. I just want what's best for her, and I hope she makes a ton of money. Wrestlers don't earn enough cash to begin with, so all the best to her. But if she does sign a deal with WWE, hell yeah, man. Make her surprise at the Royal Rumble, it makes you twice as big as a star. Number 7, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes don't win it. So I really do think that these two are the favorites, to the point, if WWE did want to pull a shock, yeah, both CM Punk and Cody Rhodes would be eliminated, and I will sit there with my tush in a chair going, what the hell do we do now? Now, of course, we've already mentioned The Rock, but again, that's pie in the sky stuff. So you could give it to somebody like Drew McIntyre. I mean, he's a big enough star, but at the same time, he won it in 2020. Just doesn't feel like the right time. Randy Orton is another guy that absolutely could justify it, but I think he's actually going to be tied up with Roman Reigns at the Rumble. And while I'd love it for them to give it to LA Knight, search your feelings. Be a Jedi. Do you think that's going to happen? No. Neither do I. Somebody like Gunther absolutely has the credentials, but until he drops the Intercontinental Championship, I think he'll just focus on that. So do you know what I would do if we decide that CM Punk and Cody Rhodes aren't going to win it? I would give it to someone totally random like Grayson Waller. Don't pretend he's not going to be a main eventer one day, so why not pull the trigger now? Seriously though, if Punk or Rhodes do get thrown out of there before the end, I will have a meltdown. To the point, if one of those two guys doesn't win it, I will shave my head. Number 6, Brock returns to set up WrestleMania. So we've mentioned him once, and now let's mention him twice. Gunther. Now this entry kind of ticks two boxes as well, because one, it's going to give fans something they've wanted for ages, and two, you'll also get the return of one Brockus Lesnar. Mania season is often when he does pop back up as well, and it's why the Rumble serves as such a good catalyst for that show, because Gunther can be in the ring and throwing people out, and then number 24, here comes the Beast. He eliminates Gunther, then on Raw or SmackDown, you can go, I hate you, and we set up that match for WrestleMania 40. And hell, the Intercontinental Championship can be on the line for all I care. Let's go nuts. And I know this is nothing new, and we've done it time and time again, but that's not the point. It's all about fan expectation here, and knowing that in early April, you were going to get the ultimate in man-meat slapping matches. Well, you'd be pumped. It also becomes even more interesting in 2024, because in terms of programs from 2023, Cody kind of vanquished Brock Lesnar. So does he beat Gunther, or does Gunther beat him? I don't flabby know. What I do know is that I want to see that fight, and I want to make a lot of noise during the Royal Rumble. Put your hands together. Number 5, the debut of Jade Cargill. I mean, why not? I don't even care if she wins. I don't even care if she loses. Just get it done and push her to the moon. Now, it really does feel like a smart time to do this, because once again, if you are a surprise in the Rumble, somehow you just feel like a bigger star. And actually, there are some chess pieces we could move into position. Because there is easy booking right here that would tell you that Jade is going to be a monster, because she arrives at the damn thing, she too throws a bunch of people out, where, I don't know, 4, 5, or 6 individuals get together and they throw her over the top. All the commentators have to do is say, oh my gosh, look how many humans it did take. And she's utterly protected. I would actually have her break the record for eliminations before this as well. Let her throw out 13 people. You'll be like, I don't want that, Simon. But why don't you want it? It's so nice and simple. Given that Charlotte Flair seems to be out for the entirety of 2024 too, which absolutely does suck, let's just set up another match during this as well, which is Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair. Give it to me. Before the return of Matt Cardona. So we have fallen into a pattern. And sure, it could be Zack Ryder as well, although Cardona has made it very clear he doesn't want to return to that name. But given that every single other person from 2010/11 has gone back to WWE, well, surely it's Matt's time. But it's kind of amazing this hasn't happened already, and once again, we all want surprises in the Royal Rumble, and I think he would be someone that would get a massive pop given everything he's done in the indie scene, and you can treat him like a brand new character. He's totally reinvented himself. Cardona has also made it very clear, be happy to have this chat, just don't treat him like you did treat him before, and that's more than fair, especially because that last run he had, well, it kind of sucked. It wasn't even his fault. Do not forget that the modern day wrestling crowd would love this as well. It kind of seems that's what Triple H is trying to tap into. Let's do it. Number 3, Ken Shamrock is back. And man, would I love to see this. Because I think it's totally mad that it's been way over 20 years ever since Ken Shamrock left the WWE, and he hasn't even had so much of a cameo appearance. What? No, I know he wasn't there for all that long during his first run, but he did make a massive difference, because he was one of these first guys that felt totally legit, because of course he had an MMA background. The reason I'm more confident than ever that Shamrock may be in the Rumble is that he signed a Legends deal recently, and you can buy his merchandise on WWE Shop right now. So we keep everything crossed. I want to see it. Mostly because he has that amazing entrance music. You remember it? It was on WWF The Music Volume 3 or whatever. I need that back in my life, so give it to me. He doesn't even have to be in there that long either, because he will get that lovely nostalgia pop. But just make sure he does something with Chad Gable. They suplex each other, couple of ankle locks. Be a happy man. Number 2, AJ Lee. So I kind of thought this may have been a possibility ever since CM Punk did reunite with WWE. And then recently, on their Instagram, AJ Lee posted a video of her training with her husband, and now everybody has lost their minds. As you should. It also makes sense as well, because if you have the Ken Shamrock nostalgia pop in the men's one, you need one for the women's too. And look, AJ doesn't need this. She's been massively successful away from the wrestling ring, but she too has a massive fan base. When you go on the internet, everybody loves her. I still kind of feel like it's an outside bet, but now, on the 3rd of January, as I am recording this, there is just a little bit more of a chance. Hopefully she comes back for good. She could have a mega run. Imagine AJ Lee in 2024 WWE. She would smash it. Number 1, here comes the Rainmaker. Yep, nothing would be crazier or more shocking than this. Now, some people like to pretend that New Japan Pro Wrestling exists in its own little bubble, but that is doing a disservice to wrestling fans. They're all connected to some degree, and if Okada arrived in the Royal Rumble, I promise you, the world itself as we know it would stop. It's also what it would mean on a larger scale as well, because rarely has a proper New Japan Grand Heavyweight Champion ever jumped to WWE. Although actually the chances of this have gone the other way, because we recently replaced the NJPW president with Tanahashi, mostly because Okada was walking around going, yep, you know that old guy? I don't like him. So my gut feeling is that this is not going to go down, and Okada will re-up with New Japan, and good for him. But man, once again, the geek inside of me would melt down if this happens. I love Okada. I genuinely think he's one of the best wrestlers ever. Now, as always, the most important thing is, what do you think the most major shock at the Royal Rumble could be? That's what the comments are for. Look, there's a video on the screen. It's 10 things you didn't know about the Royal Rumble. Feels like you should click it. Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And thank you, my friends. We are around about 3 weeks away from this premium live event. It comes but once a year, so don't forget to enjoy it. Goodbye.